Hello everybody, this video is about the French Revolution, starring Sincere, Jacory, and RJ. Except Jacory's not here at the moment, sorry.
Let's start off with the causes. The first cause was France's loss in the American Revolution, which put France in debt and drove them to the brink of bankruptcy.
There were also a lot of ideas of enlightenment around the French people around this time. There were also disagreements between the different social classes. For example, the clergy and the nobility didn't have to pay taxes, while the third estate, the commoners, did. They had a problem with that because the commoners were poor, so why should they have to pay taxes?
It was unfair.
Around this time, there was also a lot of problems with food shortages amongst the poor because they couldn't afford to buy food, and then plus they were being taxed at the same time, which didn't help very much. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about King Louis XVI. On May 10th, 1774, he became the King of France.
But he was young and unable to deal with the financial problems passed down to him by his grandfather, King Louis XV.
There goes the bag of financial problems that King Louis XV gave to King Louis XVI. Spoiler alert, King Louis XVI gets executed in 1793. You'll know more about that later, of course, in the video. So anyway, a guy named Charles Alexander de Calonne arranged for an assembly of the notables in February 1787. He wanted a change in the tax system, and he believed that there should be taxes on land and that the clergy and the nobility should have to pay taxes. It shouldn't just be the third estate, the commoners.
These were three very important ideas from Charles Alexander de Calonne. So due to the financial crisis, King Louis XVI called for an Estates General, which represented the first estate, the clergy, the second estate, the nobles, and the third estate, the commoners, who were everybody else. So he represented all of them.
Okay, so the first and second estate had 300 representatives. However, the third estate had 600, considering the fact that the third estate made most of the population. The main question that was argued was, should they vote by head or by order? So the estates couldn't come to an agreement, and after going back and forth with the first and second estate, the third estate finally decided that they wanted to become their own national assembly. And basically after that they left because they didn't need them anymore.
And King Louis XVI wasn't so happy about this, so when the third estate tried to come back, he wouldn't let them come in. So they decided to assemble in the Royal Tennis Court and vowed not to give up until they got new constitution. King Louis still keeping it. Like I said, Royal Tennis Court, they decided to keep going until they got a new constitution.
Yes, they did not want to give up. So in response to the actions of the Third Estate, King Louis XVI sent troops to Paris to stop food shortage uprisings. See, because the poor people need food too. We all need to live.
So they were uprising.
However, Parisian revolutionaries took this as a deliberate attack by the king to suppress the assembly, which led to the storming of the Bastille on July 14, 1789. The Bastille was a royal fort that symbolized the tyranny of the Bourbon monarchs around that time.
Okay, so here's where things kind of take a turn. On August 4th, 1789, most of the Ancien regime was abolished, which meant no tax, feudal rights, unequal taxation. None of that.
And then on August 26th, there came the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen, where the rights applied to everybody, the rights being liberty, property, and security.
And they were three very important rights for the people.
So yes, sorry. As I said before, on August 26th, there came the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen, where the rights applied to everybody, the rights being liberty, property, and security. Sorry about the delay in the video. Okay, so King Louis XVI and the National Assembly just decided to invade Austria for their wealth, of course.
Because you know how he likes money.
But that didn't go as planned because Austria's emperor teamed up with Prussia against France to ensure the safety of the royal family. Yes.
So you're probably wondering why Austria's emperor would want to protect the royal family. Well, it was because the Emperor of Austria was Marie Antoinette's brother. In response to the National Assembly, felt that King Louis XVI was an enemy of the revolution.
So the National Assembly abolished the monarchy and had new elections where every man could vote and created a new Republican constitution. And then they voted to sentence him to death on January 21st, 1793, which started terror because the French government started doing whatever they wanted.
So, he was pretty much gonna die.
Oh yes, as I said before, the beginning of his death started the terror because once the king died, the government started doing whatever they wanted.
Because they didn't know what to do.
Yeah. So wars that France had with Britain and Austria during the time that all of this was happening were later on won with the help of a guy named Napoleon Bonaparte.
And in 1799, Napoleon became the first consul of France, and he was given almost unlimited executive power under the new constitution. The preface of that constitution stated that, "Citizens, the revolution is established on the principles with which it began. It is over."
One of the effects of this revolution was that people got jobs based on talent and not class. Another effect was that the burgesy and the land-owning classes became the dominant power. Another effect was that the classes became irrelevant compared to before.
But a significant thing about these revolutions was that it destroyed the monarchy for a brief period of time. Another significant thing was that the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte. Nationalism also increased amongst the French. And that, people,